Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT coming to you live and direct on Google Hangout with my main man, Raphael Calva. How you doing, Raph?
Good, chilling.
Chilling. The fights happened today. We had obviously Kovalev Pascal 2 as the main event, but on the undercard we had Dmitry Mikalenko, or however you say his last name, and Kareem Hard Hitter Mayfield. First of all, before you get into Pascal Kovalev, give me your take on that fight.
Oh man. By the way, I have interviewed Mr. Mayfield in the past, and he seems like a very how do I say, like he's very devoted to the sport. Like he really loves the sport. I'm not sure if he had an injury in the past or something, but something held him up. And it looks like this fight he wasn't ready for all the way. I liked some of his energy in the beginning of the fight, but he didn't really do that well. What do you think, Brennan? You think he could have did
Well,
better, or?
yeah, I to be honest, I actually had my cards are a little bit different than HBO's. They had the
Hmm.
Russian guy boxing a 10-round shutout. I actually gave Kareem 2 rounds. I thought he did some good work in those first 2 rounds, but outside of that, he just really got tired, and you could tell he didn't have a long camp, and he just didn't have no time to prepare. So I think he had like a 3-week camp because they made the fight was official 3 weeks before tonight. So I wasn't a big fan of the fight, and Kareem definitely just seemed to be at a huge disadvantage coming to this one.
What did you think about the Russian guy?
Well, I didn't really know much about him, and to be honest, it's hard to know anything about him because if you go and research, there's not on BoxRec when you go to biography, there's no information on him. The only thing I could really
Oh
dig up
wow.
was an interview he did with Ring Magazine recently, and they said that there was a Q&A, and he was talking a little bit about his amateur background. He had like 350 amateur fights. He's won like 300 of them. But as far as what I thought about him, to be honest, I wasn't really all that impressed. A guy like Kareem Mayfield obviously has never been knocked out. Like you said earlier, he puts a lot of dedication to the sport. But
Right.
Kareem, was at a huge disadvantage. A guy that was, first of all, he's 35 years old. Second of all, you fought him, when he's only had a 3-week camp, and it was just a guy that was tailor made to get knocked out. And because Dimitri couldn't really put his foot on the gas and make that statement, he was slapping with a lot of his punches. They were accurate, but he wasn't really there was no steam on him. So I'm not really too high on the guy. I got to see more to make a better assessment. But as of right now, not too high on him.
I mean, to me, marketing wise, it came off as a draw.
Yeah.
Marketing, if we're talking about this, they wanted to push the Russian on HBO. It wasn't a success.
No.
You know what I mean? And Kareem stayed in the ring for 10 rounds, held his ground, did what he could, and then, you know, we went on to the next fight. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Kareem didn't get to show off, and the Russian just he fought good. I think, because see, they were focusing more on his power and saying that he didn't have that much power. I I agree a little bit. I think if he was more accurate, like if he placed his punches in better places, I think he should have went for his midsection.
Yeah, he
But
wasn't really going to the body.
yeah, he did a few times, but he didn't do it. Like he didn't attack like to the
Yeah.
mat. He just like put some punches there and then attacked up top. And it looks like Kareem Mayfield is like has an iron jaw because he was getting hit a lot, and the
Yeah.
man was just staking around. It was cool. It was a good fight, but I don't think it was entertaining.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. Well, the interesting thing to me about Dimitri, he's actually, if you look at the Ring Magazine welterweight rankings, he's actually ranked number 10. That's actually how I first heard about him. I was on the welterweight rankings, and I'm like, who's this guy at number 10?
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. Ring Magazine has him at 10, so I'm like, okay, 10. Who this guy is?
Mm.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I still got to see more of him. You know,
yeah,
that was
yeah,
a so.
yeah. For me, it's for
What do you think about? What's that?
I was gonna say with Dimitri, it's kind of like how I'm kind of approaching how I view him as I view like kind of like Charles Martin, who won the title against Glaskov. Glaskov tore his ACL, and he's kind of just won it by default. we didn't see much from Martin, and we didn't
Gotcha.
a whole lot from Dimitri. So I'm just gonna give it time till I really make a fair assessment.
Yeah. He seems like a good fighter for now.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
good fighter. But anyway, we got that out the way. Let's get into Kovalev Pascal. What are your initial thoughts, Raf?
Um, I'm not surprised. I saw Kovalev fight live in September, right here at the Mandalay Bay. I got to watch it thanks to Mr. Neil.
Shout out to
He hooked
Neil.
it up. Yeah, shout out to Neil, and he did a good job even that day. So in September, he did a good job, and to be honest with you, I knew Pascal couldn't go 12 rounds with Kovalev, and I'm really shocked that he's even still fighting. I mean, to look, I think he should take a break. I think he should take a break because what I saw tonight was a guy basically quitting without wanting to quit 100%. And when someone doesn't know when he's at his last, like he has no, that's very dangerous, and should have threw on the towel earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
He threw no combinations. He was doing the same thing he did versus Gonzalez. The only thing is that Gonzalez was probably a little nervous because of the spotlight.
Mm.
So he had time to, play around and do all this stuff. But man, Pascal, I think he's done. And not to diss anybody that boxes, because man, if you're trying to put food on the table for your family and stuff like that, you got to do what you got to do. But this guy really, he disappointed a lot of fans, and I don't know if they're gonna support him again like they did tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the fight at my house. Had a few friends over. I thought Sergey was gonna do exactly what he did tonight, which was punish Pascal. Kind of be more, instead of fighting, be a little more crafty, be more of a craftsman, and fight to the and jab to the body. I didn't think he was
Very technical.
very technical, and that's the thing people don't understand about Kovalev. They think, like I heard, I think Andre Ward said it in an interview he did with Fight Hype. He was saying like, it's gonna take more than power just to beat me. Well, Kovalev has a lot more than just power. He has the ring IQ, and it's the ring IQ which leads me to believe he'll beat Andre Ward. But that's another topic for later on. But
Right.
as far as this fight goes, Pascal, people wanted to say, like, I know that there was a few people in the boxing world that said, oh well, Pascal, he has Freddie Roach now. We're gonna see different things. We're gonna see new wrinkles in Pascal. We didn't see really anything different. We just saw a guy who.
No.
Round one was in survival mode. Like the highlight of the fight for Pascal was his ring entrance when he came out with Roy Jones Jr.
Wow.
That was
a surprise to see Roy Jones rapping and coming down the ramp like that. That was very surprising.
That threw me off. I'm like, yo, he's got Roy Jones Jr. I'm like, and then if you notice too, when he was making the entrance, he took forever to go to the ring. I'm like, he really doesn't want to fight. He just wants to.
He's all about being a showman, and it's cool for a little while. But once you get to the elite, those people that are champions, those boxers that are champions, none of that stuff's gonna matter as much. It'll get you to the arena, right? And
Yeah.
the flash and all that, but that's not gonna save you when you get in the ring, man.
Yeah, especially not against Sergey Kovalev. I mean, not just that, I knew Pascal was at a huge disadvantage here because, number one, he pissed off Sergey real bad with a lot of the comments he made.
Yeah.
Then he went out, he fires after his last fight with Gonzalez. He goes out, he fires his longtime trainer Mark Ramsey. Then he gets Freddie Roach, which would have been a good move had he had maybe a fight or two to get some, experience and some sort of familiarity with Freddie. But to go have his first camp and then have his first fight against Sergey Kovalev, one of the best fighters in the world, it just wasn't going to work out, and it didn't work out. So,
Yeah, I was there for
the Najim Mohammadi fight.
Exactly, that was like the midway, like the hype towards this fight, because in that conference you could tell that John Pascal was still kind of like hurt about his loss to Kovalev, and he said in the interview, in the
press conference.
In the press conference, he was saying that he wanted to make a statement versus Gonzalez, and the statement was to prove that he could still fight. And what did you have? What was your card like versus Gonzalez?
For the Gonzalez fight?
Yeah.
I'd say, I gave that fight to Gonzalez. I thought Gonzalez won that fight. Probably like around like 7-5. Gonzalez.
See, I know a lot of people that had the same card as you, and they had Gonzalez winning. I was there, not to say that makes a difference, but I had a draw. And to be honest with you, since I've never seen Gonzalez, that to me is a. So if he would have got he deserves it.
Yeah. Your audio is kind of fading in and out.
Oh, my bad. Okay, let me.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but like it was fading in and out, so I wasn't getting like what you were saying.
Oh, man. Okay, so what I was trying to say is that I thought Gonzalez got a draw in that fight versus Pascal, and that to me showed that Pascal wasn't all the way ready.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So I don't know, him getting a new trainer and things like that. Then on top of that, I don't know, he didn't even fight like a Freddie fighter. You know what I mean? The only thing he did a few times was he threw the lefts, and that's what HBO was showing, that Freddie was trying to give him confidence with the left hand. But still, he got to a point where he wasn't even throwing combinations.
Yeah, he was for a few rounds there just a punching bag, nothing more.
Yeah, it said it right there in the punch stat that he only threw one punch in a round. I mean, it was bad, and some of the slips were not even that good either, too, because it made him look like his footing was off. Like, to me, it looked like Pascal was a more flat-footed fighter than Kovalev, and he was fighting off his back foot. So Kovalev, being the guy that's fighting off his tippy toes, he's never been knocked out or anything. He's been knocked down, but he has a crazy ratio. It didn't look like he was gonna win at all.
Yeah, and so it didn't look like he was gonna win. And Pascal, I mean, honestly, bro, I think at this point, I think he's accomplished everything he's needed to accomplish in boxing. He's went as far as he can go. I think he should retire. To be honest with you, he doesn't need any more beatings. He doesn't need any more bigger fights. He's made his money. He's made good money. If he's invested, I don't know if he's invested it wisely, but if he has, he should retire comfortably. I think, at least.
I think he has his own promotion.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, so and I'm sure he paid Freddie Roach a pretty penny to side with him, because I mean, it's not a secret that Pascal likes to get in there and rumble. You know what I mean? And that takes money. So I think if I was him, I would be more like, thinking almost like Marquez or whatever, this ending my career, ending your career like soon.
Yeah. He can just sit back and just be a promoter.
Exactly. So what did you think about the aftermath? And
oh man, that was hilarious. So you have Adonis Stevenson. Well, first you have Kovalev doing his interviews, and he's going on this little tidbit about how Jean Pascal doesn't deserve any respect, and he's glad he punished him, and he's cold-hearted, man. Sergey Kovalev's a mean dude. Like, you've seen guys in the past who have put beat downs on guys and have killed dudes in the ring, and it affects them in some way. And not this guy. This guy is from another planet. But as far as what I thought about it, Adonis Stevenson jumping in the ring. First of all, did you see how there was like 4 or 5 gangster-looking dudes behind him? Like, they look like 1960s, 1950s gangsters with the hats on.
About a Superman's team?
Yeah, when he came on, when he came and he was talking to Kovalev and he was saying all that stuff.
Yeah, they look like serious dudes. I think they were even cursing.
Yeah, he was like, Say, I'm the real champ. Me. I'm the real champ. Fight me. He's the beast.
Oh my gosh, man! I don't know. That was all for show, bro. Because like Kovalev was putting up the middle finger, and it was like hilarious. But at one point, I thought that Kovalev was like gonna square off with him, kind of like Deontay Wilder and Fury did.
I
But
was waiting for that, but it didn't get to that point.
yeah, he just walked away. He's like, man, I don't need to fight with this guy. He got all the belts.
Yeah.
Sergey is on a whole nother level, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah. That fight's never happened. And honestly, at this point, like, I don't even want it to happen. So, you know.
Yeah, it's a joke now.
Yeah, so okay, so now that's out the way. How about you know, they did interview Andre Ward. Did you see it?
Yeah, I watched it. It's typical Andre Ward. You know, it was just like he was having an interview with Fight Hub. Seriously,
Yeah,
it's no different.
Yeah, very
no different. Yeah, so, he knew what he was doing. He answered those questions selectively, you know, and didn't try to bait him. But there's nothing you could do when a guy doesn't want to fight. You can't fight. You know.
So do you think do you think that fight's gonna happen? I mean, he does have to get past Sullivan Barrera, and I was watching Barrera actually. That's gonna be a hard test for him.
You think? Oh, okay.
I think
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Sullivan Barrera is gonna be a tough fight for him. You know, Sullivan Barrera as a pro, you know, he still has to get some experience in, but he's like one of those Cuban amateurs that has a lot of experience. So he does have that. He has the height and reach advantage over Andre Ward. He's got an 81% knockout percentage. You know, this guy can fight, and he's actually he works very closely with Triple G as a sparring partner. So I know he's picked up little things with Triple G. Like there's a video on Dante's Boxing Nation where like Triple G showing him some little tricks about inside fighting. Like I know that he works really close with Triple G.
Wait a minute, I think I seen this guy fight.
Yeah,
if it's the guy that you're talking about, Ward is gonna have a problem with him.
Yeah, he fought.
Only thing is,
I think he fought his last fight. He fought some guy named Caro Marat or something like that. I don't remember who he fought last. I can't remember who he fought last, but I know that was the fight I was watching earlier.
He sounds very familiar though.
He's a Cuban light heavyweight. He's good though. I was watching him earlier. You know, that's not gonna be an easy fight for Andre Ward. And honestly, I like Andre Ward. I would consider myself an Andre Ward fan. My thing is, at light heavyweight, I don't think he has the power to keep a lot of these guys off of him. And I'm not saying he has to have like a lot of power, but just enough to keep him off of him so he can sit there, he can box, he can move, and do all that stuff. I don't think he's going to be able to do that at light heavyweight. But that's my opinion. What do you think?
What about his athleticism? Do you think it can carry, you know, kind of? I mean, like someone so for like Kovalev, you know.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when it comes to his athleticism, like how it's obviously good to have athleticism, but how relevant is his athleticism when he fights a guy like Kovalev who knows how to cut the ring, who has really good punch placement, who will go to the body, like he does not forget to go to the body, he likes going to the body, he feeds off going to the body, he's got a jab which is like almost a power punch within itself. Like I just don't see how he's gonna beat Kovalev, but if he can beat Kovalev, if Andre Ward can pull something out of his behind and beat Kovalev, then to me he's a legend for that, because I just don't see it.
Well, he's gonna have to show it versus Barrera.
Yeah, if he shows me something against Barrera, then I'll be okay, because that's a guy with longer reach advantage. He's bigger than him. He can punch. He's experienced as an amateur. You know, not necessarily as a pro. He doesn't have experience at that top level as a pro. So this would be actually Barrera's first test. So this might actually tell us more about Barrera than it does Ward, actually. But either way, it's still a stiff test for Ward.
Well, the last time I saw Ward, it was like a showcase, but before I remember him being very tough. Like he's not a guy that is just gonna quit, or you know, he's not gonna slow down. So he takes his training pretty serious. But you know, I expect more out of him because of all the injuries, all the rumors, and the, you know, I give him a chance versus Kovalev. I am way more of a chance than Pascal. I mean, sorry to say, it's just the truth.
I mean, Ward to me is the only guy that can really beat Kovalev. The only guy that outside the world that I could see beating Kovalev is like years from fighting him. And that's the other Russian light heavyweight, which is Arthur Beterbiev. Have you seen him fight?
No.
No?
No.
He's got like 9 professional fights. He's like 9-0 at 9 knockouts. He's a killer, but he's like really good. And I think down the line he could give Kovalev some problems, but that's like a few years down the road. And Kovalev might be older. He probably not gonna be as good as he is now. So maybe years down the line, but that's it. And in his prime, Ward's the only guy I give a chance, and it's very slim.
Damn, man. That division is getting drier and drier.
Yes. I mean,
bad.
yeah, well, I mean, Kovalev has beat most of the top guys. Hopkins was a top guy. He beat him. Pascal was one of the top guys. He beat him. He wanted to fight Stevenson. That fight never materialized. So we think he would have beat him, but we're never gonna know because the fight didn't happen. So really, the only fight for him at light heavyweight is Ward, and that's the fight we want to see. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, like I said, man, Ward was in the Rocky movie. He's getting his marketing and all the. He's signing with Jay-Z and stuff like that. So all he got to do is prove that he's still that tough champion. Isn't he? He's Olympian, right?
Yeah, gold medalist. Yeah, gold medalist.
Yeah, he has a chance. He has a big chance to do it right. It's just he has to do it. Like he has to put it in motion. And what I'm afraid of is if he gets injured. But I don't think he's gonna get injured. I think the last time he was just to get prepared for this moment.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember when he called up that fight?
Which fight?
He was supposed to be on the Cotto and Canelo.
Oh yeah. He was supposed to fight. I forget who he was supposed to fight, but he was supposed to fight somebody. I think he was using to fight Paraban or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember
exactly.
That. I mean that would have been good exposure for him. I kind of wish he would have taken that fight, especially now with the way the Guillermo Rigondeaux fight went. That was a boring fight. You see that fight?
Yeah, it was bad.
Okay.
It wasn't.
It was a sparring session.
Bad. It was bad. Let's just say it's truth. It was bad.
It was a sparring session on HBO.
Sheesh. So, one question I have for you. I posted Thunderdome, by the way. Shout out to Thunderdome, and shout out to TSS again.
Yes.
What do you? Who's starting the year hot right now? Is it Golden Boy, PBC / Showtime, or is it HBO? Because they have 2 fights under the belt. One.
Well, HBO?
And Golden Boy doesn't have a thing, so
not yet. I
mean they have their fights, but
if I had to say, I guess I would lean towards because Showtime had Wilder. They had Wilder and
yeah, and then the PBC had Danny Garcia. So that's still.
I guess it depends on how you look at it. If I had to say who I would pick out of all those, I'd probably say Showtime, only because of what happened between Wilder and Fury. I actually heard people who don't even watch boxing talking about that. So to me, when you have people who don't even watch the sport, pay attention to the sport, talking about it, then that holds more weight with me. So I'd say them just based on that. But in terms of who's putting on the best fights. Now, to be honest, I didn't even see the Guerrero-Garcia fight. I still have to go watch it. But Showtime right now, I don't think it'll be like that for the whole year because Showtime just doesn't put up enough quality fights. Their Friday cards are good, but not their regular main event cards. The Friday cards are fun. So really, it's Showtime. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And then you got Tyson Fury on there. I mean, he just won the heavyweight title. He's still gonna fight Klitschko in spring.
I'm excited.
That's the hot ticket right now is the heavyweight fight, and people waiting on the Deontay Wilder fight, the next fight of his,
Yeah, and then I was looking at the schedule for boxing in February. It's going to be really slow. I was looking at it.
Yeah.
We're not going to really get anything, assuming that just based on what we know now, we're not gonna really get anything in February like too noteworthy till Terrence Crawford Lundy, which is like the very end of the month.
And then we have nothing right now.
Yes.
We have some PVC cards, but they're not gonna be like grand.
Yeah. So it's gonna be tough. I hope some fights get made for February because that's like my birthday month, and I'm gonna have no fights till the end of that month. So hopefully I can make it there. Like I told you, I'm trying to get out there for that fight. Hopefully I get my credential.
You get to go, man. This won't be your first fight though, will it?
Nah, this will be my third one I'm covering. I covered Shannon Briggs, Mike Marone, and then Yan Zevic, Arizona Lara. But those were fights in South Florida. This would actually be my first fight out of the state. So yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be my first time. It'd be my first. A lot of things. It'd be my first fight out of South Florida. My first fight I'm covering out of the state, and then my first time going to New York. Period.
Oh, it's in New York.
Yeah. The Madison Square Garden. Yeah, my first time Madison Square Garden.
That's where Crawford's fighting?
Yeah, Madison Square.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be good, man. You're going to enjoy that.
Yeah, and then Felix Verdejo's on the undercard.
Oh, yeah. You're going to get to see. Oh, wow. That's going to be fun for you, man.
So I really hope that I get out for that, which I think I will. So.
Yeah. What's the next one? Isn't it in March? It's Thurman, right?
Thurman Porter, yeah. Thurman Porter is in March 12th at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut.
Okay. Do you have a prediction on that one? I don't think I've heard a prediction from you yet.
To be honest, I mean, it might change, but honestly, man, I know everybody's picking Keith. A lot of people are picking Keith to win, but I'm going with Porter.
Okay.
I think Porter's gonna win. I don't think, if you watch the Collazo fight, Collazo, when he did put pressure on Keith and went to the body, he was able to really hurt him with some shots. So I think Porter. A lot of people say Porter is sloppy and Porter is this and Porter is that, and he can be at times. But I mean, if you look at his last few fights he's fought, especially the last one he had with Broner, he fought at the lightest weight of his career. He was fighting a guy in Broner who didn't really want to punch and was like tying him up all night. So he kind of was smothered anyway, just where the other guy was fighting. And I just don't see Keith being able to handle pressure for all those rounds. Hello? Damn. Come on, Raph. Hello? Where'd Raph go? But yeah, until Raph comes back, I guess I'll just talk about myself. I just don't see how Keith is going to be able to, handle that pressure for 4 rounds. We've seen as he's moved up, and we've seen this both with any fighter. When you move up in class and you move up in opponents, it's hard to knock people out. And Thurman lived and died with the whole KOs for life mantra. We haven't heard him necessarily say that in a while. But I don't see him being able to handle sustained pressure from Porter for all them rounds. Raph, you there? Damn. So that's what it is, man. Hopefully, we get a good fight. I know Porter will come to fight. Raph, you there?
I thought I lost you.
No, it was good. I was still talking about their whole Thurman Porter fight.
Okay, damn, man. It was getting good, and then all of a sudden.
I'm going to tell you what I said. Where did I leave off when you cut off?
You were talking about Collazo.
Oh yeah, I was saying that Collazo hurt him with some body shots, right? And he had to get on his bicycle and then be smart and adjust and recover. But I'm saying Porter comes forward the whole fight, and I just don't see how Thurman's going to be able to handle that pressure. He has a good jab, but so does Porter. Porter can box. Porter had a great amateur career. People don't realize that this is a guy that fought middleweights. He was fighting guys bigger than him in the amateurs. He beat Daniel Jacobs in the amateurs. The guy who just won the title over Quillen. So I got Porter. I think it's time. He really wants this fight. Thurman necessarily didn't want. From what myself and shout out to the homie Thunderdome. We talked about some stuff. Can't really talk too much about it on here, but from what I've been hearing, basically that Thurman didn't want this fight. He didn't want this fight, and I'm sure it's for a reason. And fighters know if you've been in there. So I'm going with Porter.
Well, And well, from what I've seen, it looks like Thurman is a little uncomfortable with the pick,
Yeah.
and he looks like he's emotionally like tied to this fight because it's different when you're fighting someone that you don't know or you kind of know
Mhm.
what they're already about. But I think isn't he cool with Porter? Like before,
Yeah,
he's like
they're really cool. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
So that makes him nervous, but I agree with you. My pick is not Porter, but at the same time,
okay.
I'm still 50-50 on it until we get a little closer because Thurman, yeah, I think if he goes the distance, I think he can pull it off. But if Porter like hurts him before the 6th round, I give it to Porter. So right now I'm kind of 50-50. I know that's kind of lame.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have a pick already, but I do still, this guy is Thurman's I think he's one of the best in welterweight for sure.
Yeah, he's a top guy.
Am I breaking up?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but
Oh man.
I was saying that, like, yeah, Thurman's definitely a top guy. I think whoever wins this fight has definitely separated themselves from a lot of guys in the division. Whoever wins this fight should probably fight a Kell Brook or Danny Garcia next, or like within the next 2 fights.
Word, yeah, exactly. And it's all about that green belt right now. Mayweather's title is up for grabs. It's like a carrot in front of a horse, man. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, how can you take that throne, And Mayweather calling shots, still being able to ruffle some feathers out there in the article world and the boxing news and all that stuff. It's hard to take that throne and just own it, like Fury owns his throne right now, but he still's got to prove himself every now and then. But still, like what he did was good enough.
Yeah, well, I know some of the American media though doesn't want to give Tyson Fury their credit. Like, I forgot what HBO said something tonight about him. Like, it was really subtle, but I forgot what they said. And I'm like, man, they're really hating on Tyson Fury. I can't remember what they said, but they said it during the fight when they were showing the ad for his interview with Brian Gumbel. They said something about
Mm-hmm.
Tyson Fury, and I'm like, damn, these guys are some real haters. Like, they don't want to give this guy his credit.
Yeah, I was listening to some of the story that his background and stuff about how his family is like a gypsy traveling type of fighting family that they fight for money and they're bare knuckle fighters and stuff like that, and that's all he knows is bare knuckle fighting or fighting in general. And his dad went to jail for it, and it's like generation after generation of just traveling and fighting his whole life. And you know that's his background. That's what they presented in the HBO presentation there, and I thought it was pretty good. But at the same time, I feel like the Fury win was a little bit more definitive than the Danny Garcia win, because Danny fought Robert Guerrero.
Oh, that, yeah, I talking about that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about the green titles. I'm talking about
What do you
the
mean?
big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all about the green title right now, and all about taking over thrones.
Yeah. I mean, as far as Tyson Fury or Danny Garcia goes, that's like, obviously to me, I don't want to hate him. I don't like hating on fighters. People always like tell me, "Oh, Brandon, you hate on Danny Garcia," and I don't like Danny Garcia. That's a known fact. But this is my honest assessment. Outside of Charles Martin and Deontay Wilder, Danny Garcia has to be like one of the worst champions in boxing. He's got a lot to prove. There's a lot he has to prove. Especially at
Yeah.
147. He's had so many soft touches. Robert Guerrero. Okay, Robert Guerrero fought a good fight. We're not taking that away from him. But is that saying more about Guerrero or Garcia? Because if Garcia is this elite fighter that we all think he is, why is a guy like Robert Guerrero being as competitive as he was? Thurman was able to put him on the canvas. Thurman, outboxed him for at least 9 out of the 12 rounds. So why was the fight so close with Thurman and Guerrero, or Garcia and Guerrero, I should say? Um, I just want to see more of dominating performances from him. He doesn't use his jab. He doesn't do any of that. He has an unorthodox style, and I get it, but at some point in time, he's gonna have to learn how to use his jab, because one of these days, Al Haymon is gonna have to put him in the ring with a boxer puncher, and he has not faced that style yet. That was actually an argument I used as to why Danny Garcia is still undefeated the other night, because I had to argue with Neil and my friend Paul on a Facebook status, and they were saying that that I was hitting on Danny Garcia, and I said, well, he's only fought, for the most part, he's fought two types of opponents, either light punchers or guys who are just kind of like slow, plodding type, power punchers. So he's never fought a boxer puncher, which is why he didn't at 140. He didn't want to fight the likes of, even though people are gonna say now that he lost, but when Amir Imam was undefeated, he could have made that fight. He didn't want to fight Amir Imam. He's not in a rush to fight Keith Thurman. At 147, Amir Khan has proven to be a stronger puncher than he was at 140. His dad is on record saying that they don't want that fight. He has a history, and Victor Postol as well. He paid Victor Postol step-aside money so that he could go fight, it was Lamont Peterson. He's never fought a boxer puncher, and that's a style that I know he struggled with, because he struggled with guys who have no power, who all they have is jabs, and he's lost in the eyes of many people. The Herrera fight, the Lamont fight. Lamont's not a power puncher, but Lamont battered him really bad in those later rounds. So, I just want to see Danny get in there with a guy who is classified as a boxer puncher, whether that's Thurman, whether that's Spence, whether that's Crawford in the future, and I want to see if he can do good against that style. But that's just my take. What do you think, Raph?
Or maybe even Porter.
Or even Porter, yeah. Porter can pull out a W, so that's what it is.
I know, I agree. And he has had some boxer punches, but not as many as a champion should have.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. And I like Danny, to be honest with you. Like, we're kind of like
we're the polar opposites on that one.
Yeah, we're opposites on that one, but I do agree that he needs to fight better opponents. He could have knocked out Guerrero, but he didn't. It's kind of weird, like, to catch 22. What can you expect? He's fighting like a vacant. So, like, how much respect can you get out of that? You feel me? And if he fights someone like Thurman now and he beats him, then, now people can really just back off. But they're not going to back off for a while. And the welterweight division is the hottest topic in boxing. So, that's just the way it's going to stay for Danny. They're always going to put the little cherries and emojis under his pictures, and they're going to always call him Gift Garcia. And that's how it's going to stay for a little while until he fights some meaningful opponents, man.
Yeah. So hoping to see DSG finally, gets a big fight. Cause I'm so sick of hearing about, like, it's kind of like Danny Garcia kind of has like Andre Ward syndrome. Like you're talking about things from like 4 years ago. Like, I don't want to hear about what he did 3-4 years ago when he beat Amir Khan and Luka Batista. Okay, those are great wins. I give him full credit for those. He does have a good resume, but you got a new weight class. It's been years since. You've had some very questionable performances since then. So let's see a little more. Let's see if you're still as great as you say you are. That's all I want to see. And if you can prove that, if he can prove that to me, I will come on here and I will say, Danny Garcia, you've earned the respect, and I'll give it to him.
Yeah, because the thing is, there's different dimensions in people's careers. Some people look at them as a whole, as the person. Mm-hmm. I sometimes look at it as marketing, the boxer, and the person. And like, all right, him fighting Paulo Malignaggi, like, what was the point of that? Like, there's certain picks that are very questionable, and him not winning, like, in a grandstand way versus Lamont Peterson, that hurt him. Those are the types of fights that are gonna hurt you, and the fans aren't gonna like you for that. So he has to show improve. I mean, he was in California, and he was fighting a Mexican fighter, a good Mexican fighter, and I feel like he should have either been a little bit more fan friendly or he should have knocked out Guerrero. So yes, he doesn't have to absolutely knock him out, but yo, show that you care about boxing. Show that you like the California fans and you're there. I don't know. I always think about marketing wise too. You know, like how Triple G does with his little smiley faces and does all this like showman stuff. You got to do that for the fans too. You know, and he doesn't even do that. He sometimes just is terrible. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's even like, kind of like a Terrence Crawford. Like Terrence Crawford is in many ways in the same boat as Danny Garcia. And I'm actually very frustrated that he's fighting Hank Lundy for his next fight. I'm pretty pissed about that. But Terrence Crawford has boxing skills that are like way better than Danny, like just pure boxing skills. And he could, if he wanted to, coast to a 12-round decision a lot of the time, but he doesn't do that. He has a fighting spirit, and he closes the show in grand fashion, which is why he's getting that pound-for-pound acclaim, which is why people are saying Terrence Crawford is this and Terrence Crawford is that. We don't see that from Danny.
He's legit. He's legit. He shows the fans that he's a legit fighter. He has it in him. There's documentation. There's documentaries on Terrence Crawford. You can see that he takes it very serious in his background. You know, like where he comes from. You know, he doesn't have someone to talk behind him like his dad. You know, that's like Danny's dad. I mean to say, like that's not gonna always be your sales pitch. You know.
Yeah, and it should, which is why I kind of like that fight to me from from a marketing standpoint, that fight, the Guerrero Garcia fight, was kind of weird because the fighters themselves don't necessarily have like the most fun personalities, but the dads are like, oh my god,
animated, and
animated
then it only lasted like a day or two when they really wanted to say stuff to each other, and I'm sure one of the guys were pushed out there to go and say something bad because either one guy is just wanting for his son to win the title, and the other guy is just like, well, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna try really hard. That's not gonna always work, and that's why some of us thought that we were gonna see a really good fight, and we did, but at the same time, Guerrero fell short, bro. He fell short. Like after the 6th or 7th round, he just fell short. He got too used to getting punched, man. Like some of these boxers, man, they get hit, bro, and then they just like fall in love with it. Like, yeah, keep hitting me, that's not a good thing. Pascal was doing that dance tonight, man.
Oh,
that
man.
was not.
He was doing the funky chicken on his legs when Kovalev was landing on that straight right on him. Ref. Oh no, not again. Hello?
Yeah, did I lose you again?
Yeah, you lost me again. I'm like, your camera froze. I'm like, oh no, not again. Yeah. Yo, I want to get your opinion on this. Since we're talking about Danny, have you seen the interview where Angel Garcia says, "Why fight an elite fighter when you can fight guys like Rod Salka?"
No, I've actually heard Thunderdome bring it up, but I haven't seen it. No.
Basically, he's in a gym. He's at their gym, and he's going through his old media rounds. And the media, one of the guys in the media brings up Sean Porter and Keith Thurman, and Danny Garcia, or Angel Garcia, I should say. Angel Garcia basically says, why are they calling each other out? At the end of the day, because he for some odd reason he thought Porter was undefeated, so he was like, at the end of the day, one of those guys is going to go home with the O and the other one isn't. So I don't know if they want to do that. And why would you fight a guy like Sean Porter or Keith Thurman when you could fight a guy like Salka?
Jesus Christ, man.
He really said and then Ness from the Boxing Voice was there, and Ness is like, to find out, like he's like, to find out who's the best, and then Angel's like, but they don't need that right now.
Oh my gosh, that's so bad.
Like this is all on camera. Like I was dying. It was like, wow.
Yeah, this is why a lot of fans, the real boxing fans are kind of like not happy sometimes because I consider myself a real boxing fan and I don't like matchups like that, bro. Like that is awful, bro. I would never want to see fights like that. I'm from that era where I saw the best, bro, and that's all I want to see now. man.
Yeah, we have so many great matchups out there. This is actually, to me, I consider this a pretty good era for boxing as far as the talent goes. So why aren't more matches being made? Want to see the best about the best. That's it. Simple and plain.
They're talking about toning down some of the titles and stuff like that. If they could do that,
yeah. I think I haven't read the article, but from what I heard, Angel Garcia and Danny Garcia were talking about if they have to fight Amir Khan because the WBC's forcing them because he's the #1 mandatory. If they got to fight Amir Khan, that they'll vacate the belt. They'll vacate the WBC belt. They just want to not fight Amir Khan again. Like they really don't want those problems at 147.
That's weird.
Yeah, and then they're gonna use the excuse, well, we beat them already, we knocked them out. Okay, do it again, all right? Because Thurman and Porter got to fight. Pacquiao and Bradley got to fight. Kell Brooks is not gonna fight you right now. Earl Spence is probably gonna need some fights to get under his belt before he fights anybody of note. So.
And you're the champion.
And you're a champion. So honor your mandatories. Why does nobody want to honor their mandatories anymore?
I don't know. It's so weird, It's strange, and I don't know how to like blanket these excuses for people, because some fighters are just champions and some fighters aren't. Like there are phases of maybe like a Floyd or when he was like fighting for years and he was a champion, but then at the same time when you got like people not wanting to fight and things like that, it just holds up the whole division. And that's why like certain divisions have been dried up, because there's no more people to fight. And then there's welterweight division, like the welterweight division is packed, but then no one wants to fight each other. It just makes it awful, you know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody's kind of tiptoeing around each other. Nobody wants to fight the top guys. Ridiculous. Like the only matchup that's happened inside the top 10 at 147 has been Kell Brooks, Sean Porter. That's it. We haven't seen any of those other ones.
I want to see more of Kell Brook too, but then he's another one. You just never know with these guys. They're not consistent, and then sometimes some of the casual fans, it doesn't make it easier, because the casual fans are so used to being, watching certain fights that are like temporary, certain matchups, I mean to say, that they become temporary, and they're just like, well, it doesn't matter to me. And us true boxing fans, the hardcore fans, were left with like these stinky matchups like Salka. Like, who wants to see that? No one wants to see that.
Yeah, man.
Like, I didn't want to see Ward versus Paul Smith, but now that you're saying that he's gonna fight a true fighter like Barrera, that interests me. So
yeah, that's a good fight. I'm actually really excited about that.
Yeah, Andre Ward got to bring it this year, man. 2016. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, no background. Less fight hype interviews and more great performances. That's what I want to see. I want to see some great performances from Andre Ward. I don't want to see any more fight hype interviews. He fulfilled his fight hype interview quota for the next 2 years with all the stuff he did last year.
And for all the TMT fighters as well.
Yes, for all the TMT. But speaking of TMT, what's his name? Badu Jack. I heard they're trying to make the James DeGale fight happen pretty soon.
Oh wow!
In the summer.
That's a good fight.
Yeah, and Badu Jack to me is like I know to me he's really the only TMT fighter that I like, to be honest with you.
Oh wow! This is other one though. KO.
Yeah, tell me about him. I haven't checked out his actual fights. I have it on Instagram. I haven't checked out his actual fights.
A couple knockouts himself. He's good. KO is good.
Yeah.
He can go.
So
I've watched him train too. He's really good. But yeah, Badu Jack, I don't know much about him. I just know top fighters.
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah, and he had a really quality performance. He beat George Groves on the Mayweather-Berto undercard. That was a good win for him. As far as DeGale goes, if those two fight, I mean, to be honest, bro, I'm high on DeGale. I like DeGale a lot. Have you watched DeGale fight?
Yeah, he when he fought what was his name? It was on a PBC card. I forgot.
Andre Durrell?
Yeah. That fight was really good. Oh my gosh, that was such a good fight.
Yeah, that was a good fight. I watched that fight, and then I watched his last fight he had on Showtime. He fought Lucien Bute.
When was that?
That was that one ridiculous day when Klitschko fought, Fury and Spence fought that afternoon.
Yeah, it was like 4 fights that day.
And that was actually the fight where Amir Imam got like destroyed on the undercard. So
It's gotta hurt.
yeah, it hurts. I saw Amir too, so he seems like he's in better spirits now. But James DeGale, man, I went back and I watched that fight the other night when I was in my house, and this guy, like he switches styles, like you know how Terrence Crawford switches styles from southpaw to orthodox and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He does it too, but like when he does it, it's like it's not like Crawford. Crawford will switch from orthodox to southpaw, and then he'll stay there for at least like 2 minutes, a few rounds. DeGale, he's throwing 2 jabs and he's switching like every 5 seconds, so he's creating all these punch angles like so quickly. When he gets to the inside, you know he'll subtly slide step and create another punch angle. Like he creates so many angles, and you know he's just a very tricky fighter to solve. To beat a guy like that, you gotta be a heck of a fighter. And you know, Badou Jack is good, but I'm not sure if he's that good to beat this guy DeGale. But hey, that's a good fight. I want to see it go like 2.
Is that matchup possible versus Kovalev?
Who?
DeGale?
No, well, DeGale's at 168.
So they don't really even try to play with that.
I'm sure he's not gonna jump up. No, I don't see that happening. But yeah, 168. 168's a weird division actually right now. You got
that is a strange division.
Yeah, like DeGale. You got DeGale and Badou Jack holding titles. You know, you have the Durrells are still in the mix. So no.
Yeah, it's kind of like the 154 almost.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, personally, I think DeGale is pretty underrated. I think he should get more credit. He has an exciting style. To me, when I watch him fight, to me, he's the best fighter at 168 right now. And I think as time goes on, you know, he'll prove that if he gets the right fights, and hopefully.
I like DeGale because he's unfiltered. I like that he doesn't hold back, and he calls fighters out.
Yeah, he calls them all out. I love that about him. You know, he's exciting, calls fighters out, wants the best. You know, he's not. Oddly enough, you know, usually UK fighters have a big following. You know, for some odd reason, he doesn't have as big of a following as like Fury or some of these other guys do. But that's kind of a good thing because he's willing to go to other guys' backyards and fight them. So it still works out one way or another.
Speaking of calling people out, what do you think of Lara trying to move up to 160? He's called out Triple G as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard both sides of the fence, and I've heard people say, you know, Lara will be better at 160.
That's a hot topic right now.
Huh? Yeah.
It's a hot topic.
I want to see that fight. That's actually a fight I want to see because everybody, the number one argument I hear when it comes to Triple G is that, oh, well, he's fighting guys who are stationary targets, and you know he hasn't been in there with a mover yet, a guy who's tricky. I'm like, well, Willie Monroe Jr. isn't necessarily the guy who just sits there and plots power punches. He doesn't have any power. So I thought Golovkin showed he can deal with that style when he fought Monroe, but Lara and Monroe are clearly different levels, so I want to see that fight. Just for that, and because for whatever reason, people think that Lara would beat the brakes off of Golovkin. I've seen many people say it, so I want to see it. I think Golovkin will win. I just don't see how Lara can keep Golovkin off of him. It's kind of like Andre Ward. It's actually a little bit worse than Andre Ward fighting Kovalev because at least Andre Ward has a little bit of power. Lara doesn't really have any power. I watched this fight with Zevik. Zevik, you know, if this would have been Zevik for maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I don't think Lara stops that Zevik. But this Zevik, you know, a very, very old Zevik, he's like 40 almost. So
you know what's funny is that Lara got worse once he started fighting the opponents that he's been getting on PBC and all these other matchups and stuff after like Canelo. And I'm not saying that his fights are terrible, but you know, Lara, he needs to stay in the hunt. He should have chased that Triple G fighter harder than he's been doing now instead of calling him out on Twitter and things like that, you know? That's just my opinion. I think Lara is a good fighter, and he's better than Willie Monroe, but you know, he still has to step up quicker, like, you know, take those fights faster.
Yeah,
That's
so
my take.
yeah, I want to see that fight. I think that fight would be good for boxing. That's a good fight for boxing. If Lara goes in with Triple G. And,
Yeah, Lara was much better in his early career. He had more knockout power, but like I said, once you get to the elite, man, things change, and all the marketing stuff gets in the middle of it. But,
yeah. And you know his team. You know, we hear Lara asking for the fight now, but this from what we hear from Loeffler, what we don't hear from Lara's team. Lara's team's not really chasing this fight. They haven't really sent Gennady like a real offer. What I've heard.
Just Twitter stuff.
Just Twitter stuff. I mean, to be honest, I kind of wish that when I went to the Lara fight, I knew like more about like Lara and his team. I know now, but like literally like when I went to the Lara fight, his manager, like I talked to his manager, Louis DeCubas, whatever his name was. I talked to him.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I honestly, to me, he was just some random dude. I didn't know that he was actually his manager at the time.
Yeah, he talks for him. He talks for him like Danny's father talks for Danny. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And sometimes now, like I'll watch fights and I'll see him in the crowd. So, I mean, that fight's not. I want to see it happen, but I just know it's not gonna happen. It's one of those cases where I just know it's not gonna happen. But if it somehow does, that'd be great.
And it'll probably be a steal for Lara if the fight does get to happen, because then Golovkin will probably get ripped off. Like he'll probably get no money for that fight. You know what I mean?
He'll get 55. He'll get $5,000.
And a PVC ice cream.
Yeah, he'll get $5,000. PVC ice cream and a PVC T-shirt.
With Al Heyman blending into a building.
Yeah, courtesy of Al Heyman. That's one guy I want to meet. I want to meet Al Heyman to just see him one time so I can have an Al Heyman story.
You know that man doesn't have one interview on YouTube. You cannot find an interview.
That's the only person I've ever seen that for. There's nobody in sports, period, who's like that.
For all the viewers out there, the boxing fans, just please have a camera in your pocket, like a little phone or whatever. Yeah, see how. Ask him a question, see what he says. Maybe
I just started using Snapchat, so if I ever go to a fight and I see Al Heyman, I'm just gonna pull it out. I'm gonna Snapchat Al Heyman.
Even if he responds and he says hello, you'll get probably like 30 million views.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna say, Al Heyman, why do these guys keep cherry picking? Something like that. Why do you keep paying these guys $2 million to fight D-level fighters?
Yeah, that'll be a one-of-a-kind question answer he'll give you.
I might get removed for life.
Oh, you probably get the Will Smith. They'll make you forget everything.
Yeah, the Men in Black. The Men in Black.
Oh man, that's gonna be funny, man. We gotta get that interview with Al Heyman, man.
Yeah.
If anybody's down with TSS, you gotta hunt that interview down. We're trying to get 30 million views.
Yeah.
Anybody that can get an interview with Al Heyman.
If I can just get 2 words out of him, even if he just says "F you," that'd be great.
That'd be perfect. If you get F you, you get 100 million.
I need to get F you. I need to get Al Heyman to give me an F you.
Oh, that's it. You'll break YouTube.
I'll break YouTube. So hey, it is what it is. But
own it.
Yeah, man. What time is it in Vegas right now? It's like what, 11?
It's 11. I'm not worried about the time over here.
yeah. I'm the guy. I should be worried about the time.
Yeah, man. So if you want to wrap this up, it's all good. I understand.
Yeah. Final thoughts on Kovalev Pascal. You got any final thoughts?
Kovalev looks good, but I think he's just a champion right now, and people gotta swallow that, because to be honest with you, there's not too many fighters right now that is ruling the division like Kovalev. And I'm not trying to give him high praise or whatever, but unless he fights Ward that's it. It's only Ward. Unless he fights Ward, like Kovalev said, just take your time. Quick, and we'll see you in the summer.
Yeah. As far as Kovalev with me, to be honest, I think his relationship with John David Jackson, just watching how he's grown with John David Jackson, I think that's like the perfect combination. John David Jackson is one of the only guys that when I look at trainers, he actually knows what he's doing. Fighters actually make noticeable improvements fight after fight with him, and it's not just like when fighters talk about their game plans or how they've improved, some generic answer. You really see it. So I think he's going to keep getting better. I think you're going to continue to see new wrinkles, and like I said on Facebook, he's the man at 175, and at 175, I don't think anybody beats him, including Andre Ward. So I want that fight to happen so we can see what happens and get more clarity on this. But until then, Andre Ward is the man at light heavyweight. So that's what it is.
You mean Sergey Kovalev is the man?
Sergey Kovalev, yeah. Sergey. The Crusher.
The Crusher, Sergey.
Yes.
Knocking out rules, man. Making them quit.
Making them quit. Making their Hall of Fame trainers throw in the towel.
Yep, Freddie, you should have threw it in earlier, Freddie. He did look good though in the videos of him training Pascal. He didn't look. See how I don't know. I felt like he looked a little like he was getting older when he was training Pacquiao, but now he looks a little healthy again.
Yeah. It is what it is. Pascal definitely got older after this fight. I'll tell you that much. With those body shots he was taking.
He needs to call it quits.
Yeah.
And just own his own gym or something.
Own his own gym and keep building up Jean Pascal promotions.
Word. I agree. And we're gonna continue to promote TSS, the website.
Yeah. True School Sports.
Yes, people, log on. We got
Log
some in there.
Got some great things going on there. Hopefully, be the Ted's covered fight. Always randomly getting interviews. We just interviewed Evander Holyfield last week, so good stuff.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm gonna sign out.
All right.
Before it gets too late.
Take care, man.
Take care. Peace.
Peace.